Hey guys, this is Kami Ken, and I'm just coming to you with a quick video about the concept of deliberate practice for artists. For years now, I've been trying to find a way to deliberately practice my craft uh, using the methods that I've been learning online from different tutorials, like books, all that kind of stuff. So, like, I would try to figure out ways to use like repetition, like drawing a circle over and over until you get it perfect, or drawing squares or cubes, or just trying to find a way to use the things that I've learned from like deliberate practice uh, methods, like making it hard or just outside your comfort level. And I would try to figure out how can I use this to actually improve my art? How can I actually find a way to do this without just drawing basic shapes? Because for a while I would just do basic shapes, like basic lines, like, okay, I'm doing lines, I'm doing the star thing. I get like different warm-up practices from books, and I used to think that the warm-up was the deliberate practice session, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm done with that. That was until my I think my second assignment from school, which was this. Hold on here. Which was this comic page that I did for class, and I remember this particular panel giving me the most trouble because I knew in my head the exact pose that I wanted her to do. I wanted it to be like a kind of crouching pose before she like kind of blasts off into the air, but for whatever reason, I couldn't figure out a way to place her body in perspective, and I had to draw over and over. And especially because this was the I worked on the final paper. Like, I didn't do any roughs on any other page. I had to do it on this page because I started it and I did too much work on this page to change it all of a sudden. So like, that's the reason why this is in blue pen. I actually learned on that night the reason for using blue pen is because you don't want to mess up and like muddy your paper too much by doing all your roughs. So that way I was able to draw her like maybe like dozens of times in different poses, trying to figure it out before I finally settled on this one. I'm not even saying this is like perfect, but it was the best I could come up with at the time, and that's kind of how I figured out a certain method for deliberate practice that goes beyond just drawing circles until you get it perfect, goes beyond lines until you like meet the dots, or like doing perfect cubes in perspective or whatever. Like with this particular panel, first of all, like, it had two of the most important elements of deliberate practice. I could repeat it until I got it. There was a feedback loop because I had references for how I wanted her pose to be, and it was just outside of my ability level. Like, it was just outside my my comfort zone, and it wasn't too easy to the point where like it wasn't too hard to the point where I'd get frustrated and quit. It wasn't too impossible, and it wasn't too easy to the point where I'd be like, oh, psh, and just like sketch it out easily. It wasn't so easy to the point where I would just sketch it down and be done with it. It was actually frustrating, but at the same time, it was an enjoyable kind of frustration because I was trying multiple times, and I knew each time I did it, I would get a little closer to the result I wanted, and I'd had instant feedback, whether by checking it with my own eyes or checking it against references, and I kept going, and like, I wasn't messing up the paper too much because I was using blue line pencils, so I just kept trying it and trying it and trying it until I finally got the perfect pose, and well, as perfect as I could get it, and that's the pose that you see. That's the result you see here. So that's kind of a way that I figured out that deliberate practice could work for artists, and that's after like searching for years and years trying to figure it out. But yeah, just took one assignment from the Kubert School to finally make that click in my head. So yeah, that's just a quick thing I wanted to share with you today, and I will be continuing on in my journey to become a comic master. All right, and I will see you guys later. Feel free to comment, and subscribe. This has been Comic Can, and I'm signing out.